All right, we're streaming.
We are?
We are.
I'm just waiting for it to pop up.
I keep hitting refresh and nothing's happening on my end.
Yeah, me too.
It says right here that we are streaming live. You're live.
That's odd. Okay, I'm gonna pop out and pop back in.
Okay, it says live now on your page.
Okay,
we are live.
We are live.
We
All
are
right.
live, yes.
Okay. Whose phone just went off?
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow is right. All right.
All right.
So let's
Okay.
hit record one more time. All right. In 3, 2, let me go to black. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome to Amazing Plastic, the Scale Model Show. This is a very special edition of the show. I'm your host, Richard Cleveland. As always, I'm with you here to guide you through the world and fine scale modeling. Now, we have got a lot of great things happening today, including we've got a panel of people we're going to talk live. We're not going to build anything. Well, some of us are building stuff, but we're not going to build anything. And we are going to be talking about modeling this year, modeling next year, and we're going to talk with some noobs. We're going to talk with the experienced guys, and I want to introduce, before we move down the line, I want to introduce the panel that we have with us today, starting with my good friend, Mr. Alex Johnson, who is new to model building. Alex, how are you today, buddy?
Hey, Rich, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. With all you legends of model building out there.
Well, I'm not a legend. I'm a legend in my own mind. I'm not a professional. I just play one on the
It's
internet.
enough for me.
Yeah.
Compared to me, you're all legends. That's all you gotta know.
All right. Also with us today, we have from Evil Duck Creations, one of my very good friends and a man who is a master model builder in his own right, Mr. Jay Barron. How are you today, Jay?
I am doing fabulous, Richard. I'm glad things seem to be working now, although we've still got too much snow. Just
Yes.
like we did 2 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then. And next to him is another master model builder, Mr. Phil Robson, who is a scratch builder. He's a scratch demolisher. He's, I don't know what else to say about you, other than you are a hell of a nice guy. Mr. Phil Robson, how are you today, sir?
Hi, everybody. I'm really good. I don't know about master model maker or anything like that, but yeah, I love to do a bit of kit bashing and hack things about. And right now, while we do the show, I'm just doing some weathering with artist oils. So yeah, I'm modeling while we chat.
Okay.
Good to be.
All right, we can do that. And next to him is our hangout host extraordinaire. He's a man, he's a myth, he's a legend in all of our minds.
I think Myth was right.
He is Mr. Scratch and Jack Holzer, host of Across the Pond, Google Plus Hangout for Amazing Plastic, and the Sunday Night Hangout where you can come and be a friend and be a part of everything that's going on. How are you, Jack?
I'm doing pretty good. What an introduction that was.
I like to go over the top.
That's certainly over the top. I'm doing good. It's snowy here too, and I'm down here in my studio, my workbench. Let's get this light out of the way. And I'm building models too.
Oh, cool. And I saved this gentleman for last because he is one of the newest sponsors to be helping out Amazing Plastic. We've decided to put our forces together, as it were, and really get out there and talk about model building and talk about this wonderful hobby that we all enjoy. The owner, operator, CEO, and a grand model builder in his own right, Mr. Jason Garris from Video Workbench. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Richard?
I'm doing well. Geez, you got like that whole used car salesman. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I got some videos to sell you. Would you like to see them?
Speaking of videos, you've got some to give away.
Yes, I do for the Christmas season.
So we are not going to do our regular news and reviews as we normally do on the show. We are going to give away some stuff that we've been talking about for weeks, both on the community, on your website, on our Facebook. We've been trying to get it out there. This year you got more entries than you've had in past years for this contest. You're giving away like hundreds of dollars worth of videos on how to build scale models. Is that right?
That is right. To help and to enhance a model builder in their adventures of building model kits and maybe learning something a little bit new. Even though that the information may be a little old, you can still use it and it's relevant today.
That is really friggin' cool. So I tell you what, let's get down to brass tacks. We'll, and now for another big story. Let's give away some videos.
Okay.
You have a first prize, a second prize, and a third prize. We'll start with the third prize because you have a ton of winners in third prize. So let's go there.
Okay. Third prize is Christos Samakis from Athens, Greece. He gets 2 digital downloads of any video of his choice out of the 7.
Nice.
The second prize, which will be 3 digital downloads, goes to Jasmine Chasia from Australia.
Ah, the Aussies.
And the grand prize winner, which receives all 7 digital downloads, the whole deal package, goes to Michael James William Wells of the United Kingdom.
Wow. Now you're going to be contacting all of these people via email because you have their emails and telling them that they're winners. Now, I understand there was one of our very own that's in the room today on your list. Is that right?
Oh, yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 4 through 12 with the remaining prizes, which will be either 1 digital download or DVD of their choice.
Okay. Floor is yours, sir.
Okay, here we go. Number 4, Jerry Wilkie. He will be getting a digital download. He's from Canada.
Yay, Canada!
Jonathan Milbury. He has decided not to tell me where he's at.
He's from Canada.
From Canada. Another one.
Yay,
Guys
Canada!
are taking over. He wants a digital download. And I don't know this guy. He sounds familiar, but I don't know. Maybe you've heard of him. Jay Barron.
Oh, I don't know him.
No?
Not at all. No,
What?
no.
That's not a name.
I've heard of him. He's trouble. Believe me, he's trouble. You don't want anything.
I
to do.
agree with Jay. That guy sounds like a character.
Yeah, he kind of sounds like a loser, hey?
Well, he did come in third.
Actually, 4th.
4th, actually.
Okay. He came in 4th and 3rd all at the same time. That's kind of weird.
Okay, moving on to number 7, Liam Dillon out of the UK.
Another member of our community. Yay!
Yes. Number 8, Nick Valdez from Canada.
Blame Canada.
9th place, Neil Wooding of the UK.
Okay.
Number 10, Robert Mitchinson from Indiana.
After the UK, you go to Indiana.
Well, yeah.
That's a heck of a trip.
All around the world. Hey. Number 11, Manuel Hernandez of California. And last but not least, number 12, John Dooney of New York.
Very cool. Congratulations to all the winners.
Huzzah!
Raise the roof.
All right. I've got to thank a few people for where we're at today in our community and those people that helped us get there through their advertising and through their sponsorship of the show. I first and foremost want to thank Ralph Tenaglia from Tenant Controls. Without him, we wouldn't be able to light our starships or our cars or our trains. If you are interested in getting any kind of lighting for your model kits, check out Ralph Tenaglia over at tenantcontrols.com. Good place to go. We also want to thank Acrylos Vallejo. Vallejo paints, a good quality, actually top quality acrylic paint, fine ground. Check them out at Better Hobby Stores online and in your local area. Ask for Vallejo paints, and if you're looking to find out what lines they have, go to acrylosvallejo.com or just type in Vallejo paint on your Google search. We also want to thank the fine folks over at Model Land for their help in helping us launch this show this year. And they've done a great job with supplying us with some tools, and we've got a whole bunch of grand things coming in the very new year. We also want to thank Lou Del Meso from Aztec Dummy. If you are looking for masking, painting masks for your Starship or for any other sci-fi kit, he's got 30 products in his lineup. Go check him out at better online retailers today and look for Aztec Dummy. I know that you can find it at Federation Models, and you can also find it at Cult TV Man. So go check those out if you are building a Starship or any other type of model that you may want some painting masks for. He also does custom jobs as well, so make sure you check him out, drop him an email, and or get in touch with him through one of the retailers, and he will be happy to do something to help you out. Now, I also want to thank Video Workbench, who we have recently brought on as a sponsor of the show, and we are going to continue to let people know about the videos that Video Workbench produces. Jason, you also have a YouTube channel that you are now running, or you've been running now for quite some time, and that's got all kinds of tips and tricks and how-tos on painting.
Yep.
Excellent. And Jay Barron of Evil Duck Creations is launching his website very soon, so go over and check that out. It should be launching in the next week or so, I believe.
On the 20th.
On the 20th. Okay, so just in time for Christmas, so you can order specialized builds from Jay. You do custom builds as well as out-of-box builds for clients. Is that correct? You also do prop building?
Yes,
Cool.
I do.
Excellent. So we want to give Jay a plug as well. Jay's a regular on our show, as well as, of course, Jack, Scratch and Jack down there, and Phil Robson is also a regular on the show, and we hope to see Alex as more of a regular on the show, and we're going to see a lot more from Jason in the upcoming year. Now, we are taking a little break. I want to tell you about that really quickly. We're going to be off the air for about the next 3 weeks. We'll be returning on January 7th, I believe it is. Is that the right date? Let me just double check. I'm so lost when it comes to dates.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
No,
Anyway.
we're actually coming back January 8th. No, January 11th. We're coming.
Somewhere in
Do I hear
January.
the 12? Do I hear the 12?
We'll be back in January.
We will be
Between the
back.
1st and the 31st.
We will be back with brand new episodes of Amazing Plastic. This is official now, January 11th, 2014, and continuing the rest of the season of Amazing Plastic until we take our summer break and we get a lot more stuff ready for season 2. So we'll be doing that. And now let's go and check in with Alex Johnson, who is a new model builder, and he's going to be building his first model. Alex, what are some of the things that you're worried about building your first model? And not gluing yourself to yourself is not one of those things you can talk about.
Well, I don't know, because, playing with glue is just way too much of something that I enjoy. So, but there are a couple things. As we were talking about, like when I picked up the kit, it's a Subaru BRZ from Tamiya. So, after having bought the kit initially, when I was there with Rich, we were looking at it, and we didn't really see any specific indications of whether it's a beginner or more intermediate or one of those heavy kits. But we figured it was probably close to beginner. Found out it's a bit more intermediate, so I am kind of looking forward to realizing that this is probably going to take me a little bit of time, but that's okay because I think patience is important to this type of hobby. At least from what I've kind of watched is you all take on these crazy projects that just look amazing. I think that's a key thing to that is that, you got to have some patience. So it's something I'm going to have to tackle over the next little bit. The other issue I was thinking about was painting. Everybody likes to add their own deal, make it look nicer. You brought up something, Rich, that I'd never really heard anyone discuss before, and that was the paint types that you can use should be layered in certain ways. And you said there were 5 types. I'd like to talk about that and hear that from everyone's different point of views as to why one should go above another and vice
Well, there's
versa.
actually only 3 types, but
Oh, okay, 3 types. See, amateur right here. I'm a nub, straight up nub. I can claim that.
All right. So let's go to our painting expert. And we have 2 in the room, but I'm going to put it to Jay because Jay does more custom builds. Jay, talk about the difference paint that are out there and why one cannot be layered over the other. I'll let you take that.
Well, there are 3 main types of paint that are used in model building. You want to wait for a moment while Christina says hello? You showed up. I'll wait for a moment and go ahead.
There she is.
There she is.
All right.
Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Hello.
Let me quickly introduce Christina Pritchard, who we affectionately refer to as the First Lady of model building. She is from the UK. And Christina, just say hello to everybody. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. I'm Christina. I'm from Liverpool, and I build pretty much anything that takes my fancy. Though I prefer Star Trek and cars.
Wow, that's like 2 ends of the scale. Star Trek and cars.
Yeah, it is a bit.
All right, so we were just going to get into talking about painting and the differences in paints because Alex asked a question, what are they and what are the differences between them? So, Jay, take it away.
Okay, there are 3 main kinds of paint. There's acrylic, there is enamel, and there is lacquer. Now, there are actually more than those kinds of paint that are used pretty regularly, but those are the 3 main type that you're going to find. Now, all of us older model builders grew up with enamel paint. That's what you used. That's what you had. You went to the grocery store, wherever that sold some models and things like that, and you got the little bottles of Testors enamel paint, 15 cents. That's what they used to cost. And you used enamel paint. Lacquer paint was being used by people who did like RC cars and things like that, more along that line for a little more professional style of paint. And then acrylics kind of started to come around 1970s. They started to become popular, but they really didn't start to kick in to model kits and such until about the late 80s or 90s. And they've kind of taken over. Most people, I would say most people nowadays tend to work with acrylics before they work with anything else. And the advantage to acrylics is they are water-based, so you can thin them with water, you can clean them up with water, you can even clean them up the model with water if you do it soon enough. There are some disadvantages, but for the most part, you can have a really nice model building lifetime just using acrylics. Richard mentioned something about layering. Certain paints you can put over other paints, and other paints you can't. You can put anything on top of acrylics. If you lay down acrylic paint, you can put either of the other kinds down on top of that and not have really have a problem. You can lay acrylics down on top of anything. That's about where it ends. You don't want to mix enamels and lacquer. You really, you're probably safest picking a certain kind of paint and sticking with that, because you can now get clear paints in acrylic, that give you a really nice clear finish and things like that. So you're probably best bet. Your best bet is probably to pick a type of paint and stick with it. And I'd go with acrylics.
Okay, good to know. No, that's that pretty much answers a lot of my questions, and I kind of figured it would be easiest to stick with one type. I can't really see or think of too many projects where you would want to kind of mix paint types. That just sounds like you're adding another variable for things to go horribly, horribly wrong.
Oh yes, yes you are. So probably best.
Okay, let's go. Let's do
Jason.
Jason wants to say something. I think we should let him. What do you think?
Oh, Mr. Carter.
Jason's been watching me, and he just wants to say, Phil's done everything wrong.
Learn from you, Phil. I got you.
Now, Jason, you're an expert painter in your own right. You've won several competitions, have you not?
Yeah, I have.
So let's hear this from your perspective before we move on.
Well, you can use several different types of paints, but you have to make sure that you seal them well before having another type of paint added. So, like, I usually seal everything in with future floor wax, and then I can go over the future floor wax with a lacquer or an enamel. It just depends, and you have to do several layers of the future floor wax before putting anything else over that. Now, future floor wax is an acrylic, but it gets very hard, and you can just I haven't had any problems with mixing paints as long as I put future down in between layers.
Okay, but you have to add that other step. Like, there's not.
Right, you can't just put one on top of the other because one could eat the other away, basically. Because
Which is precisely what Jason was watching me do.
I was like, what's going on over here?
Yeah, I have just broken every rule that you got. Everyone's just heard, and I did it. I did it on purpose. The San Gabriel was painted with flat enamel, allowed to dry for 7 days, and now I have
We lost his audio.
just done an oil wash. That's Artist Oils. You've lost me?
Oh, no, we got you back now.
You got your
Your
back.
audio cuts in.
Okay, sorry. And I've just washed that over with mineral spirits and Artist Oils on flat enamel. And the end result, of course, if you wash it and rub too hard, is it takes the enamel off underneath. But I've done that on purpose. I didn't seal it in between because I was going for a particular look, which is very aged wood, so I was just washing it on. So
Like a weathered kind of look.
yeah, but I where in places where I rubbed it off, I've actually taken the base enamel coat off as well. I've gone right back to the plastic.
Oh, okay.
So, but I've done that on purpose, and I knew what I was doing. But normally, so the point is, there's some rules, but you can break those rules when you know what you want to do with it.
So for desired effects kind of thing. Is where you
Yeah,
want it.
absolutely. Normally, I would, before I put an oil wash on, I would seal that with a gloss coat of either acrylic or enamel or a lacquer before an oil wash. But in this case, I didn't. I actually put an oil wash on over a flat, which is very unusual, but it's a ship. You know?
Ships never look pristine except for when they're absolutely the first time made. Yeah, I agree.
It's a sailing ship in space. You know, you can break some rules. But
Another thing that I would like to add, if I may, is that it's your model. You do it the way you want to do it. It doesn't matter what other people are going to think of it. It's your model. Have fun with it. Don't worry about going by any particular rules unless you're going for something that may be in a show, maybe judged, or you want to make sure that when people look at it, they go, oh, that looks a lot like the real thing. It just depends upon what you want to do. It's your car, your vehicle, your kit. Have fun with it.
That's
Nice.
a great point. That's a great point. I want to quickly move on now that we've talked a little bit about painting, and I want to ask each and every one of you, with the exception of Alex, because he hasn't built a model yet, what was your favorite kit to build in 2013? What was your favorite? Let's start with Christina.
I'll have to answer in a second. I just have to mute myself for a second.
Okay, well, let's move on
Sorry.
to Jason then.
Oh, I'm actually getting it. Hold on a
Okay.
second.
Jeez, nobody's
Show and tell
prepared.
time.
All right, Jay, we'll go to you. We'll come back to those two.
Probably, I'm not done with it yet, but probably the one I've had the most fun with is the AMT Klingon Bird of Prey.
You've done an extraordinarily amount of work to that.
Yeah, I'm modifying the heck out of it. I'm taking, any place where it's not screen accurate, I'm going in and at least making it closer. I'm not saying that I'm making it 100% screen accurate, but I am making it closer.
All
I'm just
right.
having fun with it.
Okay, let's go on to Phil. Phil, favorite kit of 2013 that you built?
Without a shadow of a doubt, my Polar Lights 350 scale NX01.
Very cool. Jack Holzer down on the end. What was your favorite kits to build? I say that plural.
I'm a sci-fi guy. I'm pretty partial to them, but my favorite was the 65 Mustang hardtop.
You did a wonderful. You only built that in like a few days too. You did a wonderful job on that.
Yeah, that was actually 2 weekends.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
That was my first car. It was my first car too.
See, now you're a car
Awesome.
guy.
Yeah, now I'm a car guy.
There you go. All right, let's go back down to Jason and find out what his favorite kit to build was of 2013.
This would be a bust of the Prometheus engineer.
Horrible movie, but beautiful model.
Nice.
Also, the helmet comes off.
That's sweet.
It's a hollow cast resin bust. It comes in 12 pieces, and the guy who sculpted it is from Thailand, and there's a lot more of these kind of kits coming out from Thailand, and I guess the newer versions are solid instead of hollow. So this kit only weighs 1 pound.
Wow.
That's some crazy work for such a light kit. I'd expect that to be a lot heavier from the look of it. It's nice though.
Now this one I painted mostly with Com Art, which is made by Awada Medea. Com Art transparent colors, and I had used a silver base coat so that the transparent colors pop more. And then I went over the transparent colors with Future Floor Wax and sealed that in with Model Master lacquers.
Very, very cool. Now, Christina, you are up. What was your favorite kit to either destroy or build of 2013?
Well, the only one I've actually finished this year would be The Bride of Frankenstein, so I'm going to go for that.
And you did a fabulous
lot of
job
fun.
on that.
If you say so.
Well,
Yeah.
it's one of the first times I've seen a kit that turned around to be, you painted it black and white so that you could photograph it black and white, and there's not too many builders that will build a kit in monochrome.
Yeah.
I found it a lot easier, actually, to be honest. It just seemed to make more sense to just start off with painting the entire thing white and then just shading it in.
Very cool. It looks
And it
wonderful.
only took 2 paints.
2 paints. There you go. Black and white. Now, Alex, I want to ask you, we're going to move into tools now. I'm going to ask people what their favorite tool is. You're looking to build your own set of tools, correct? Like you're looking to build up a kit of tools that you can use to make models so you're not always coming over here.
Yeah, I'd like to actually. I was going to ask people too about that, like what kind of tool kits they've bought themselves and what they've had in the past. And just to drop it into, we did get a question on the YouTube channel here, if I can pop it in for people before we move off of painting. Keith Purcell was asking if anybody has used Pearl EX pigments and what medium clear would you put them in?
Well, let me take a stab at that. I haven't used them per se yet. I am using the Pearl paints for an upcoming project that I'll be doing, and I've suspended them in what is the stuff that I suspended them in? Here it is. See, I had it behind me. Alclad 2 clear base lacquer. This is not a a gloss. This is just a very flat base lacquer. A little bit of powder inside of this should do the trick for you. Run it through your airbrush, and you should just be fine. So clear base from All-Clad 2 lacquers is the stuff that I use. Anybody else want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, you could put it in that particular powder. You could put into a clear acrylic base if you wanted to, or it's such a fine powder that you can put it into nearly any medium to send it through. It's just just use a very, very little amount. I mean, I don't know if you can show how much powder you actually have inside one of the bottles, but it's a very, very small amount, because a very small amount goes an awful long way.
Yeah, believe me, I know that. They sent me 4 or 1 ounce jars, and the company that I ordered my pigments from, they sent me 1 ounce jars, and I think I used no more than I hate to say it like this, but a Coke spoon to mix in with 20 cc's.
Wow.
Okay, and now I'm going into medical terms. 20 cc's of All-Clad lacquer and 1 Coke spoon full of very fine ground powder.
That's how we measure everything in modeling.
That's right, Coke spoons.
An eighth of a teaspoon might be a better way to put it,
I use Pepsi spoons myself.
I kind of like straws myself.
Wow, that could hurt the nostrils if you're using straws. Anyway.
There's your answer.
Rich
and the experts here.
I'm not an expert. I just play one on the internet.
It's close enough.
Let's talk about one tool that you cannot live without. I'm going to start with Jack. Jack, what's the one tool you cannot live without in your toolkit right now?
Well, first I'll tell you the one I can live without, and it's the X-Acto blade. I've had a lot of adventures. I cut myself with it.
So what you're saying is the first aid kit is the one thing you can't live without.
There you go. Okay, a lack of a better answer, the first aid kit.
All right. So if you are prone to cutting yourself, first aid kit is the way to go. Phil Robson, you are up next. What's the one tool in your toolbox for model building that you cannot live without? Oh, the C-47.
Clothes peg.
Yeah, we call those a C-47 in the movie industry.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
C-47
They have a real
Skytrain.
technical name.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what.
Wow, I've learned something new today.
Pretty good for me. This is indispensable, and I have a bucket of them.
All right, let's go to Jay Barron from Evil Duck Creations. What's the one tool you can't live without?
This is a drafting pen, a mechanical style drafting pen that I use for applying liquid cement. I have been using this specific drafting pen for 35 years.
Ooh.
And I will probably continue using it until I die. So if I had to pick one tool that I could hold on to and get rid of the rest of them, I would hold on to this one.
Jay, will it to me. Will it to me. We'll start the legend, buddy. Start the legend of that graphic pen. I like
Darn
it.
right. That's what I'll do.
We'll make it happen.
Okay, Jason
Takes 20
Garris,
years to
Video
learn to use it.
Workbench. What is the one tool you cannot live without?
My airbrush, my Iwata HP B Plus airbrush.
There's no product placement there.
Oh, what? No, wow. No, well, maybe a little. Anyway.
It's too clean, Jason. You've obviously never used it.
It's a nice paperweight. Put it on paper. And,
Yeah, just keeps the decals down, stops them from blowing away. Keep the instructions
That's
up
right.
onto the right page.
There you go.
Christina, you hit the nail on the head. Anyways, I love my airbrush. I use it all the time, and I've been using Iwata airbrushes now for over 10 years. I actually started off with Badger, and then I won a Iwata at a show, and I've been using them ever since. They're easy to clean, easy to maintain, and easy to use. I love them.
Iwata's a really good airbrush, no question.
Okay, now let's move to Christina.
Well, the one thing that I wouldn't be able to live without maybe a Visa or two to start with. This is an expensive hobby.
Oh, credit cards.
I thought she was. Well, never mind.
Gotta
Ryan.
buy the kits with something.
That's true.
The other amazing plastic that we never talk about,
That's-
but needs to be stated is when there's a PSA, it'll be amazing plastic. It'll be ching these ones.
And there's more.
Well, on a more serious note, definitely the craft knife, because it is just really handy. It can do 1,000 things, including stabbing yourself many, many, many times. But
So you are friends with Jay, or friends with Scratch and Jack down there?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at stabbing myself. I've gotten pretty efficient at it too.
I've got better. Fewer scars. I mean, there's some pretty good ones on these hands, but
The one thing
You guys
I cannot
care
live
for that.
without as a model builder, and you guys are going to find this really kind of strange, is little jars, little tiny jars you can get from the craft store. I cannot live without these things. I buy these things almost in bulk. And the reason that I do that is because I like to put different liquids in it. I like to mix a lot of my own paints. A lot of time I will buy artist acrylics to do a lot of my mixing for skin tones, because one of the things that I do a lot of is paint figures, and I've painted figures for many, many years. And these little jars, they come in so very handy, more so than any of the palettes or little mixing cups that you can find. These things are the greatest thing, because you can mix up a good amount, put it off to the side, and it'll stay fresh for a long period of time. So that's my tool that I can't live without. It's jars.
Well, you know something, though, to be serious, there was one piece of tool, I can't even call it tool, it's equipment.
Okay.
I didn't realize, because I do a lot of lighting and I do a lot of electronics. One of these days I'll do videos for the show. But the one thing that I cannot do without is this.
power supply.
A benchtop power supply.
Yes.
Now, you got that off of
Yeah.
eBay for a steal, did you not?
Yes, it was like $60. Free shipping.
Yeah,
Nice.
I got.
It's pretty heavy too. It's pretty heavy too.
Oh, it's a great unit. It's a Chinese unit that is sold all over the country under various names. That is just a beautiful unit. I have one exactly like it.
I want one.
Well,
Yeah,
that's my
when I
favorite.
tried to get one-
That's something I can't live without, actually.
Okay.
When I tried to get one, it was £60, so you're very lucky, you Americanans.
Well, that's much heavier than ours is. So.
All right, so now I want to ask
Go ahead.
another question, and this is going to be directed down at, we'll start with Alex. Favorite genre of model kit, and we're going to start with Alex on this one. Alex, what would be your favorite genre? I know you're kind of we call them crotch rockets because I'm old, but you like the Japanese cars. What is that the style of model that you feel is going to be your real entry into this hobby?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I've already picked up the model kit that we're going to start, which is the Subaru BZR from Tamiya. So I'm really looking forward to making that. I love Subaru vehicles just in real life, so I'm a huge fan of them. So for me, that was a nice way to kind of find a kit that wasn't too intermediate or too difficult and to get into it. So I'm hoping that'll be the kind of good jump off point, and to eventually move to sci-fi and probably fantasy models is where I'd like to end up. Although I will say it is really difficult to find a variety sometimes, especially for the model pieces. It looks like resin kits are the ones where you're going to have a lot more of a variety. At least that's just from what I've noticed so far in my dabbling into it.
All right, Christina, you are next. Favorite genre of model building?
Ooh. I guess favorite would be sci-fi.
You've got a Voyager that you've been destroying for the past year,
Yeah,
from the Year of Hell.
Yeah. Some pieces of it around.
We want to see it. I'm sure the viewers want to see it as well.
Okay. Let me just kind of put this together-ish, kind of maybe. I'll probably break it now. Oh, it's kind of awkward, but there's I should really get more done on this. People are probably fed up of seeing the same angle. And so I've literally just taken a soldering iron to it to cut out all of the decks, and then scratch built the inner decks with layers of plastic card, just all glued on top of each other, with a load of assorted random rubbish in there. And inside here somewhere is one of Jack's 555 timers.
Yes, my fried one, yes.
Jason Garris, you are
Sorry,
next,
Jack.
sir. Favorite genre of kit to build? I know you do a lot of figure building, so
Me?
yes. Your name is
cut it in,
Jason
yes.
Garris, isn't it?
Maybe, maybe not.
Can we see some ID, sir?
Do you have some money? Maybe.
That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, we're here for the money.
I'm getting paid for this, right?
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, hey, where's the, yeah, exactly. Yes, you hit the nail on the head there, sir, and that would be figures. Figures, busts. I'm into sci-fi, horror. That's pretty much it. That's what I love. That's what I got into, and I do dabble in starships every once in a while, spaceships. So yeah, I have a lot of time in the real world, so I like to escape into the fake ones.
Gotcha. All right. Jay Barron, Evil Duck Creations, what is your favorite style of kit to build?
I'm not sure I would call it a genre, but I like building hand props.
Okay.
handheld props, handheld things that you can pick up and play with. Not just science fiction, although if I had to pick a model kit genre, it would be science fiction. But for me, it's mainly I like building and handling hand props of almost any kind.
Very cool. All right. Now, Phil Robson, favorite style of kit or genre to build?
There is just no doubt. The age of sailing ships.
And look at what he's holding. He's
That was
holding a
short
sailing
answer.
ship. Very
That
short,
was.
sweet, to the
Out of
point.
everybody's answer, I was expecting the building fan to tell us of why he loves sailing ships, to bring that feeling to me, and he doesn't deliver. He just.
That does not look like a Star Destroyer.
No, but one can meld one's first love with one's second love, I think.
Computer, remove the plank.
That's about it. That's about it. No, I love the ocean. I love the sea. When I was in Australia, I always owned a boat. I spent a lot of time on the ocean. I love
It's just a matter of getting used to the there's a variety of ways you can tone down the light or reflect the light or do tricks with it that undercarriage of a car, for an example, would need a lot of fancy footwork, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's highly possible. It's just it'll take a little bit of practice and a burnt-out LED or two.
Okay. And math? Sir, I was told there would be no math. I can't believe. What kind of hobby is this?
We lied.
Well, once you start building circuits that blink, flash, and race, now you're talking something more sophisticated. But straightforward lighting, it's actually once you do the math and memorize it, because it's always the same, pretty much. So it's not really that hard.
No math required. You just go online.
There's that too. Yeah.
Awesome. No matter what you're doing in life, it doesn't matter what hobby, real life, whatever. Google everything.
Yes.
Well, it's like everything, you know. There's the purists where you have to do the math and take it down to the nth degree, and then there's the fact of life where you can just select one value of resistor and it fits everything. But no one wants to tell you about that because purists want you to do it perfectly to the exact resistance for the exact voltage, when that's all just...
They're asking the wrong person for that.
Exactly. So you only need one resistor, and you can use any voltage from 5 through 12 volts. But
okay. Well, I think this is definitely a topic people will enjoy seeing in the future, especially with some videos. I know I will use them when I get to that point too. So, another question, I guess, just to add on to this: when would I look at doing the lighting for this kit? Should I look at it at the end when I've got the top on? Should I look at doing this as I'm building the undercarriage, or once the undercarriage is complete? What step should I
plan your
look
build around your lighting?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You must plan your lighting at the very start.
Yes.
Okay.
And do your build around it, because depending on how you're going to light your model and what level you're going to light it to, the way you build that model will change. Your destruction sheet will become nothing more than a guide to where the bits go. So it's a completely different thing. So consider your lighting at the outset. You will not be able to add it in at the end. It's got to be an integral part of your build.
Okay, so I definitely thinking of now is the time.
Absolutely. Yep.
The only thing that I do before actual lighting is light blocking. Just cover the inside of every surface that an LED will be inside. That's what I do first. Then I do the lighting, and then I do the assembling. Light
blocking, that's something I hadn't heard of, but I've heard of it before, but I haven't really gotten into it. So that's another step that...
Styrene has a tendency to glow. And if you want, like for an example, for a Starship, the windows or any other feature of a Starship, you need to light block because you don't want the whole thing to glow, because of course it won't look right, you know. So actually, I do have here some nacelle work for my 1000 that actually is working, and I'm finally putting it on correctly and not backwards. All right, this is...
Even an LED, even the back of an LED will glow. So, for example, if you're putting an LED in, say, a headlight, and it's a bright white LED, you need to plan to block the back of that LED because it will glow backwards into your plastic. And that's why I'd say, you've got to plan your lighting at the outset as part of your total build. And because styrene is transparent, and the paints you use don't necessarily make it opaque.
Well, here's a prime example that he's talking about. And of course, on top of the warp engines here, you got a seam.
Okay.
Yes, and I did light block that. And this whole thing would be glowing blue if I didn't. And I just have select areas that I wanted to glow blue. And of course, at the seam, it's just going to be on the surface. A putty and, of course, some extra layers of black or a dark gray primer before you put on your final primer on it, just to block that up.
Okay.
This is light blocking, and this is what it really looks like. I'm doing a saucer section. It's white with a black underneath it. So that's just basically enamel spray paint that you just spray it black and white for light reflection and diffusion. And of course, I'm putting this against the nacelle, and it's not even. You see the windows there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's completely light blocked. So even with a car, you're going to need to do some light blocking, even if you're lighting the undercarriage.
Okay.
Because you don't want the body to glow.
No, we just want the ground to bounce it back. So, okay, yeah,
That's
that
right.
makes sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you're intending to do should be very simple with a little bit of forward planning. But yeah, just plan for styrene wherever you mount your lighting, the styrene to be transparent even after you apply paint, and block it accordingly with flat black paint of some sort to make sure the light is directed where you want it to. But I guess fundamentally, from your initial question, yeah, plan it from the outset because it becomes an integral part of your build.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. No, it's good stuff. Definitely good things. As I progress to build, I'll have more questions, so we'll try to drop those more on future shows as well, too.
Oh, certainly.
And hangouts and stuff. So, definitely.
All right, so that kind of brings our show to a close. We've gone over our hour. I want to wish everybody on the panel a very, very happy holidays, and no matter whether you celebrate it as a religious holiday, a pagan holiday, or any other type of festive season, please be well, and we hope that you enjoy the next couple of weeks as you celebrate, and please, while you're going out to those parties, drive safe, be smart, and we want to see you in 2014. Now, just before I go, I want to thank everybody on the panel. Quickly, I'm going to run down the line here. I want to thank Jack Holzer for joining us. I want to thank you also for being the host of Across the Pond and our Sunday night hangouts. You've done a fabulous job since you've taken it away from me. And
Stolen it.
You stole it, and I couldn't be happier. It's a lot less stress on me. So thank you very much. I watch them religiously. You do a fantastic job, and I think everybody in this room will agree with me that you are the host with the most when it comes to doing our Across the Pond and Sunday night hangouts. Thank you very much, Jack, and thank you for being
you're
my
more
friend.
than welcome.
I want to thank Phil Robson, who, without his dedication to model building and his dedication to the show and his help technically with the show as we move forward into 2014. Again, Phil, thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for spreading the word of our community. And we look forward to seeing a lot more of your builds and a lot more stuff from you on the show as we move forward.
Pleasure. Great to be a part of the show, Richard.
And Jack, I almost called Jack. Jay Barron from Evil Duck Creations, who is the other half of my brain in a lot of cases.
You're in trouble, Richard. You're in trouble.
Explains a lot, actually. So.
Yeah, he really is the other half of my brain when it comes to planning and deciding what kind of material we want to share with people on the show of Amazing Plastic Scale Model Show, which will be coming to you more regularly in 2014. Looks like we've taken care of a lot of the technical issues, so look for a regularly scheduled show every Saturday coming in 2014. And Jay, again, thank you very much for everything that you do for the show and everything that you do at Evil Duck Creations, man. Without your brain, I wouldn't have half the knowledge that I have right now.
Well, I'm very, very happy to be here. I've met some incredible people, and I would not change it for anything.
And I want to thank Jason Gares from Video Workbench for not only being a little cricket in my ear over the last few weeks about some of the changes that we can make going into the new year and some of the production problems that we've been having, and he's helped me kind of sort of through a few of those. Thank you, sir, for being a part of our community on G+, being a newest moderator over on Facebook. You're doing a fantastic job. I want to thank you for all the invites that you sent out recently. I mean, it pushed us from being a lowly, 494 people on Google Plus to well over 500 now. We hit 500 in 140 days. Wow.
That's crazy.
We are the fastest growing community on Google Plus about scale model building, and I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you've done. Jason, again, I want to specifically thank you for all the people that you invited over to Facebook. Facebook has overtaken our Google Plus page.
Yeah, it's like at 557 right now or something like that.
What?
So.
That's crazy.
560, I think it's at. I checked just before going on air. It's at 560.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just want to promote something that I really believe in, and I think can help a lot of people and bring the community closer. And all I want to do is help out. And what you have going, Richard, is a really great idea, and I see it nothing but good things coming on the way.
Well, thanks, buddy. Thank you. I want to also thank the First Lady of Model Building, Miss Christina Pritchard from Liverpool, England, who has done a fantastic job in going from being a very shy little girl when we first met her to being really that person who cracks the whip when we're all being lazy and says, listen, just do it. Thank you, Christina, for being a part of our community and also helping us with gathering our news from week to week.
Thank you for letting me.
Well, thank you for volunteering.
And being an encyclopedia of knowledge.
I also want to thank my good friend Alex Johnson, who originally, back in the day, helped me to launch Naked Ape Productions. He was one of the original owners of the business, and together our friendship has only grown, even though he's not technically a part of the business anymore. He is still one of my very, very close and good friends, and I'm proud to have him as a part of our community and see him build some fantastic models in 2014.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
Hey, no worries. And we also we got a couple people that are not in the community tonight or this afternoon that we have to mention. Kimberly Andrews, who does a lot of work on our social media. She's also put a lot of effort into doing work on the reference material that we've looked for. I want to thank all of the members of Amazing Plastic on G+, for being members and for sharing your work, sharing your ideas, your tips and tricks, and really helping to foster this wonderful hobby we call scale model building. Without you folks, we wouldn't have a show. We wouldn't have something to work forward to in 2014. So thank you. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, Tenna Controls, Model Land Limited, Vallejo Acrylic Paints, Video Workbench, who else am I missing? Aztec Dummy Painting Masks, and everybody else who's showing their support. We've got some great people in this community. Some honorary mentions I want to say: Steve Neal from Steve Neal's Garage, Simon Merks from the Kit Factory, and Dr. Cranky himself, who are all members of our great community. Thank you very much, everybody, for promoting this show, for promoting the community, and bringing everybody together. Danny Monahan, I got to send a special thank you out to him. We forgot to invite him into this today. Oh, my gosh.
What?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't able to make it anyhow.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay. Oh, whew. Now I'm off the hook.
He had to pick up his daughter from somewhere. So.
Okay.
What?
But until...
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here.
Kidding.
Until next year, in 3 weeks' time when we come back, have a happy holiday, and we will see you all, everybody, in 2014. We'll see you right back here at the Workbench. Take care, everybody.